Ministry of Defense does not interfere in selecting the Indian offset partner by the foreign vendor, as the DPP does not mandate. And thereby, many of the times we have received a request that Ministry of Defense should maintain a registration kind of thing in their website, so that the foreign vendor can select the Indian offset partner from the list. As DPP does not mandate us to give any kind of recommendation, and the foreign vendors are free to select their Indian offset partner, we are, so far we have not introduced such list in our website. But I will come to the future slides wherein I will tell you the latest step taken by Ministry of Defense, in which the Indian Industry Association have been told to formulate such list and give a link to the Ministry of Defense website. And finally, the memorandum of understanding or letter of acceptance or any agreement that has been signed between the foreign vendor and the Indian offset partners are to be guided by the Indian law. This is an important aspect of determination of value addition. Whenever an offset credit is granted to a foreign vendor, his admissible amount is calculated on the basis of his value addition in India. That means whenever a value addition is determined, it is determined by subtracting the imported content from his voucher. And of course, any fees and loyalty paid by him is also not included in its fulfilling of offset liability. A quick look how exactly it is done. In the request for proposal, it indicates date of submission of offset offer, and offset conditions is also determined in the request for proposal. Thereafter, the date which has been indicated in the RFP, the vendors are expected to submit their offset proposal on that date. Then there is a technical offset evaluation committee which evaluates the technical offset offer. Thereafter, there is a commercial negotiation committee which commercially negotiate with the offset offer. Thereafter, the contract signing stage, and finally the most important thing is the implementation, which has been done by MoD. At the pre-contract stage, there are offset management issues, terms and conditions of the offsets as specified in RFP. As I said, there's an undertaking taken from a foreign vendor along with his technical offer, wherein that undertaking indicates that he is comply to fulfill the offset obligation in India as mandated in the RFP. Of course, date of submission of commercial and technical offset offer is also indicated in the RFP. Technical offers, whenever submitted by the foreign vendors, he got to indicate details of products, services, or investment as per format. We have a format in the DPP which indicates how he is supposed to indicate or how he is supposed to select his avenues of offset discharge. Beside that, he has to indicate his Indian offset partner and details of banked offset credit, if any, in his name, he got to indicate in his technical offset proposal. Commercial offset proposal, which is nothing but a translation of technical proposal into a business implementation plan. Herein, the foreign vendor is expected to give the absolute value of his offset liability, which was indicated in percentage in his technical offer. Details of annual phasing. If an offset contract is of 5 years, he got to indicate yearly basis how much he got to discharge offset in India on an yearly basis, because all our calculation is based on yearly basis. So it is expected the foreign vendor to give the details of IOP, details of product, details of avenues that he is selecting, absolute value, and finally his offset obligation, whether it is related to his main procurement contract or not. We are not going so much in details about the evaluation process. This evaluation process is conducted by Ministry of Defense. Here I have said about the technical evaluation. Of course, we check the eligibility of avenue of discharge, I said DPP mandates only 6 avenues of offset discharge. So we got to check the avenues of discharge, what has been decided by the foreign vendor, whether it is as per book or not. Eligibility of products and services. Products and services list are indicated in the DPP. The foreign vendor got to purchase those items what is listed in DPP. Eligibility of investment. Investment, whether it is equity or non-equity, eligibility of that investment is also checked. We have other ministries linked or working with us. Let's say for investment, we have Foreign Investment Promotion Board, FIPB, who basically indicates whether that particular investment, especially in equity, is eligible or not, and accordingly that has been accepted. Eligibility of IOP, including the status of MSME. Ministry of MSME gives a certificate in respect of the IOPs, whether he continues to be an MSME or not. MSME, the MSME benchmarking has been set up both for the manufacturing and the services sector, and both manufacturing and services sector, they have been indicated what will be their turnover value to be an eligible MSME. Scheduling of offset activities, yearly phasing percentage of total offsets. Then once the technical evaluation is conducted, it is approved by the competent authority at Ministry of Defense. Thereafter, it goes for a commercial negotiation. In the commercial evaluation stage, only the L1 vendor's proposal is evaluated. That means by the time the commercial proposal is evaluated, benchmarking has been completed for the main procurement. At the same time, by then, Ministry of Defense is also sure that who is the L1 for this particular procurement. So at commercial negotiation stage, we are commercially evaluating the proposal of L1 vendor. We give adequate opportunity to the vendor to align his proposal with the approved technical offset offer. And value of the offset components is also specified, as I told you earlier, in an absolute term. They have been indicated in his commercial proposal. Irrespective of the cost, the offset proposal is approved by Raksha Mantri. Offset contract is to be formulated as what model offset contract. We have a model offset contract given at DPP. It is expected the foreign vendors are to follow the contract wordings what has been given in the model offset contract, which is a part of annexure to the DPP offset guidelines. This particular contract may vary depending on the facts and circumstances of each case. This is a little bit of liberty given, because some of the time you find that arbitration clause or force majeure clauses are required to be changed depending upon the circumstances. So that is why this kind of liberty is given. And offset contracts, always, as always, it is governed by the laws of India. Coming to the post-contractual stage, where the monitoring of offset implementation is done at MoD. Foreign vendor is expected to submit his contract details between the IOP and him to the ministry within certain duration. It is within 90 days, he is expected to provide the details of the offset contract program signed between him and the Indian offset partner. This is notwithstanding the fact that there could be a non-disclosure agreement exist between an IOP and the foreign vendor. Foreign vendor is expected to report his offset implementation to the Government of India at a regular interval. As I told you earlier, 6 monthly basis, they got to report as mandated by DPP 2013. But we have many contracts which have been signed by the previous DPP. They mandates reporting of offset implementation on quarterly basis. Requirements of supporting documents. Supporting documents lists are given, especially whenever a purchase order is raised by a vendor. It is expected that he supplements his claim with adequate supporting documents. That means there should have been an invoice made by the Indian offset partner. Subsequently, it is expected that amount of money is properly transferred to that Indian offset partner. So we should have a proof for that, probably FIRC, foreign inward remittance certificate from the bank is expected. And finally, most importantly, is the value addition document. Value addition document is the document which is signed by both the foreign vendors and the Indian offset partner. As on today, Ministry of Defense is taking only a self-certificate for the value addition, and we are taking a certificate which is signed by both the IOP and the foreign vendor. But that does not deter us to go for a physical verification if the required be.